Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another topic related to COBOL, where we will talk about the conditional statement. Like what is conditional statement, why we are supposed to use conditional statement, and mainly in this part we are going to discuss about if statement. Like how to use if statement, what are the scenarios where we can utilize if statement. Okay, so let's start with the basic definition. What is conditional statement? So suppose in your program, if you want to write a piece of code which you want to execute for a particular condition, that condition could be anything, but you want to execute that particular lines of code in a particular condition. So in this situation, we need conditional statement. So what conditional statement will do, it will execute the piece of code that comes under their block only when it satisfies a particular condition given by the programmer. Okay, so that's why we use conditional statement. Now in COBOL, we will discuss how we can write the if condition in COBOL program. So for that, what I'll do, I'll firstly show you the code that I have prepared. Then we will take this program in debug mode and we'll see the output. Okay. So let's start with the basic thing. Firstly, what we are doing, we are declaring the identification division. Identification division is mainly used to denote the identity related information of a program. For example, in line number 2, you can see we are declaring the program ID here, which is denoting the test pgm 8, which is nothing but a program name. Then it is denoting author, which is for which is to you which is used to show the author name. Here you can see texture myth is written over there. So this block, this identification division block, is mainly to provide the identity related to program. Fine. After that, I have just put some comment line just to show you the topic of the today's session topic, which is conditional statement if. Okay, fine. One more thing, those who are directly referring this session, I just want to tell you that these positions are fixed. Why I'm not? That's why I'm not writing anything here. But if you don't know about these basic things, then I request you to please go and check out the previous session, because there we have discussed each and everything in a detail, in a proper sequence. Okay, fine. So once your identification division is ready, then we are going to use the data division. Now, what is data division? Why we declare it? What is working storage session? Why we use it? These all things we have already covered, right? So in this session, we are not going to focus much on these detail, because I think it's now time to move forward with other topics like statements and everything. So that's why if you are uh, facing any issues with these things like what is data division, working storage section, then you can go and check out the previous sessions. Okay. For now, we will just focus on the statements. Now here on line number 11, we have declared one variable with the name candidate age, and this is the declaration. Like it is a numeric variable which can hold up to maximum 3 values, and here we have initialized the value as 30. So that means this candidate age variable holds the value as 30. So whenever we use this variable throughout the program, it always print the value as 30. Okay, fine. So after that, we are using the procedure division. Now what is procedure division? Just after the procedure division, we write the main logic part of our program. Here on line number 15, we are using the if conditional statement to verify any particular condition. For example, here you can see we are checking if candidate age is greater than 18. So it will firstly execute this condition. If this condition result as a true condition, then it will run the program lines which is written in the block of if and end if. Remember one thing, we have to put correct syntax always, otherwise it will give error. So syntax is like this. You can write if space candidate age, then this angular bracket, then your age or whatever the value you want to test. Here I'm using hard coded value, but you can also use variable here also if there is any particular variable. Then we are printing the then we are using the command display to print the message eligible for voting. But remember one thing, this line only executed when this condition becomes true. And to terminate the if condition, we use this end if. Right now we have only one line in between these blocks, but it could be anything. Like you can write entire logic if you want. For example, if you want to see if candidate is greater than 18, then in that case you can put multiple line here to execute between the if and end if. But the thing is that it will only execute when the condition is true. In case of false, it will directly came to the end if and execute the further written lines. That's why we are using conditional statement if. So it always checks for condition. If condition is true, it execute the code written in between the if and end if. But if it is false, then it will simply skip this part and move further. Clear? So now for this example, you can see we have stored the value as 30. So what it will do, it will try to check and verify whether 30 is greater than 18. So condition is true. Yes, 30 is greater than 18. So it will execute this below condition, which is written between the if and end if block. But for example, if the value we have stored as 10, so in that case it will check 10 is greater than 18. No. So in this case it will simply skip this entire block and move further. Got it? Fine. So I think it would be much easier for you to understand once we take this in debug. So let me firstly compile it and show you the output. So once I call it, you can see it is printing the first message as eligible for voting, and then it is printing the message which is out of the condition, out of it if condition. Thanks for using voting verification. Okay. One more very important thing. As you know that let me show you. Yeah, so as we are checking condition, so we have initialized the values. Okay, so make sure that you have initialized, otherwise it will always consider as 0 and will go in the end if block. So let's see. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you, make sure to don't use this period here in this dot to terminate the, especially in case of if condition, because if you try to execute it now, you can see it is giving error, because we are right now in if condition, so we are not supposed to end anything in between if condition. And what will happen if I try to use this period here? Will it work? Let's see. So if I write here to terminate, this is just to tell that yes, we are terminating the line here or statement here. This time it is working, okay, and it is providing the correct output. But the moment when you try to use this period or dot in between the if condition statements, then it will give you error. Okay, fine. So yeah, I think now we are good to take this in debug. So I'll simply copy. Firstly, we need to compile it with debug source. So dbg view, just write 14 here, dbg view, then star source, compile it. Now we will take in debug strdbg f4, provide your variable name, library, and the option should be yes in both conditions, star yes. Okay, then hit enter. It will take few seconds and then it will open the debug screen. Now on that debug screen we will set the breakpoint. So for setting the breakpoint you can use br1 command. So simply write br, then a space, and then 1. So here you can write br space 1, enter, press F10 and call the program. So now if you press F10, you can see it is checking for candidate age. Here the candidate age 30, which is greater than 18. So in this situation it will go inside the if block and it prints this message eligible for voting. Later once completed the end if conditions, because right now we have only one value to print, then it will come to display command, print the second message which is outside of the if condition, and then stop the run. Okay, let me call it again. This time what I will do, I'll change the value for candidate age in the debug. So what I can do, I can simply copy it, ev command, and this time I'll make it as 10 and enter. Okay, so right now it is holding value 10, so it will check if 10 is greater than 18, and if I press F10, no, it is not, because 10 is not greater than 18, so it's simply skip this block. Okay, Now there might be one question like we have stored value as 30, then why it is looking for 10? Because we have changed it in debug. I hope you got that right. Fine. So after that, it just print the outer block. It will just process the outer block code and stop the program. Okay. So yeah, this is how we can use if condition to check if statement to check the condition. If only remember one thing, if condition is true, then it will run the code written in between the if and end if block. But if it is false, then it will skip that part and move to the further lines of code. So these are the code which is outside the if end if block. So that's why it is running without checking the condition. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope it is clear to all of you. In the next session, we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.